Everything you learned in history class follows a neat timeline. Humans evolved in Africa, slowly spread across the world, invented basic tools, discovered agriculture, and gradually built civilizations. Simple, linear, logical. Except there's a problem. Archaeological discoveries keep surfacing that completely shatter this timeline. Footprints where they shouldn't be. Structures built with technology that didn't exist. Objects carved with knowledge nobody should have possessed. Tools created with precision we can barely replicate today. These aren't minor inconsistencies. They're massive cracks in the foundation of everything we've been taught about human history. Some of these discoveries push human civilization back thousands of years earlier than accepted. Others reveal technology so advanced it seems impossible for ancient people to have created it, and a few suggest knowledge that shouldn't have existed until modern times. What you're about to discover are 15 mysteries so profound, so impossible to explain with conventional history, they could completely rewrite the human story. Prepare to question everything. Mystery number 1, White Sands Footprints, New Mexico's White Sands National Park. A vast desert of brilliant white gypsum sand. Beautiful, empty, seemingly lifeless. But beneath those pristine white dunes lies evidence that just rewrote human history in North America. In 2021, scientists announced a discovery that shocked the archaeological world. Human footprints. Thousands of them. Perfectly preserved in ancient lakebed sediments. The footprints show adults and children walking, sometimes running. You can see teenagers carrying heavy loads. Evidence of daily life frozen in time. Here's the part that changes everything. These footprints are between 21,000 and 23,000 years old. That's at least 7,000 years earlier than humans were supposed to have reached North America. For decades, the established theory claimed humans first arrived in the Americas around 13,000 years ago, crossing a land bridge from Asia during the last ice age. The White Sands footprints completely destroy that timeline. Dating was confirmed using radiocarbon analysis of aquatic plant seeds embedded in the footprint layers. Multiple independent labs verified the results. There's no mistake. This means humans were living in North America during the height of the last ice age, when massive glaciers covered much of the continent. They were thriving, raising families, building communities, thousands of years before we thought possible. Who were these people? How did they get there? What happened to them? The footprints offer no answers, only proof that our entire understanding of when humans reached the Americas is fundamentally wrong. And if we're wrong about this, what else have we gotten wrong? Mystery Sector 2, Puma Punku. High in the Bolivian Andes, at an altitude of over 12,000 feet, sits a ruined complex that defies explanation. Puma Punku, part of a larger site near Tiwanaku, dating back at least 1,000 years, possibly much older. At first glance, it looks like many ancient ruins, scattered stones, weathered blocks, the remains of something once great. But look closer. These aren't ordinary stones. The blocks at Puma Punku are cut with such precision that they fit together like three-dimensional puzzle pieces. No mortar needed. Some joints are so tight you can't slip a piece of paper between them. We're talking about andesite and diorite, stones so hard they rank between 6 and 7 on the Mohs hardness scale. Difficult to cut even with modern diamond tools. Yet ancient builders shaped these stones with perfect right angles, smooth surfaces, and complex interlocking designs. Some blocks weigh over 100 tons. Here's what makes it impossible: the precision. Modern laser measurement reveals surfaces flat to within a fraction of a millimeter. Drill holes perfectly symmetrical and evenly spaced. Corners at exactly 90 degrees. How? The civilization that built Puma Punku supposedly had only stone tools and copper chisels. No iron, no steel, no advanced machinery. Copper and stone tools cannot achieve this level of precision on rock this hard. Modern engineers have tried. They failed. Some blocks show evidence of being cast or molded, with grooves and patterns that suggest advanced manufacturing techniques. Then there's the transport problem. The nearest quarry for some of these stones is over 10 miles away, across mountainous terrain. How were 100-ton blocks moved at 12,000 feet altitude with primitive technology? Mainstream archaeology offers no satisfactory answers, just vague theories about thousands of workers using ropes and wooden rollers. But the precision remains unexplained. The techniques remain unknown. Puma Punku stands as silent testimony to knowledge we don't understand and can't replicate. Mystery 3. Microlithic Tools. Across Africa, Asia, and Europe, archaeologists have discovered something that challenges our understanding of human cognitive development: microlithic tools. Tiny, precisely crafted stone blades and points, some smaller than a fingernail. These aren't crude hand axes or simple stone scrapers. They're sophisticated composite tools requiring advanced planning, precise execution, and abstract thinking. Here's how they worked. Ancient craftspeople created tiny stone blades with incredible precision, then hafted them together in wooden or bone handles to create complex tools: knives, sickles, arrows, harpoons. This requires multiple cognitive skills: understanding geometry, planning multi-step processes, developing adhesives to attach pieces, and envisioning a finished product before beginning work. The shocking part? Some of these tools date back over 70,000 years. That's tens of thousands of years before humans were supposed to possess this level of cognitive sophistication. In India, microlithic sites show evidence of mass production, standardized designs, specialized tool-making areas, what amounts to ancient manufacturing. At Jwalapuram in southern India, microliths appear in archaeological layers from 74,000 years ago, right after the massive Toba supervolcano eruption that supposedly nearly wiped out humanity. This suggests that even during one of the most catastrophic events in human prehistory, people possessed sophisticated tool-making technology. Some microliths are so small and delicate that modern craftspeople can barely replicate them. The pressure flaking required to create such tiny, sharp blades demands incredible skill and precision. Why did ancient humans develop such advanced technology? What were they using these tools for? And most importantly, if they possessed this level of sophistication 70,000 years ago, what else were they capable of that we haven't discovered yet? Mystery 4. ICA stone flying machine carvings. In the Ica region of Peru, thousands of carved stones have surfaced, depicting scenes that shouldn't exist. The Ica stones, andesite rocks covered with intricate engravings showing advanced technology, modern-looking machinery, and knowledge that ancient people couldn't have possessed. Among the most controversial are stones showing what appear to be flying machines. The carvings depict people riding in objects that look remarkably like aircraft. Wings, tail sections, even what resembles a cockpit. Some show aerial views of landscapes, as if drawn from above. Other stones show telescopes, people performing complex surgery, maps of continents, and even dinosaurs, creatures that shouldn't be known to pre-Columbian cultures. Now, here's where it gets complicated. Skeptics point out that many Ica stones have been proven to be modern forgeries created for the tourist trade. This is documented fact, but here's the problem. Some stones were discovered in sealed tombs during legitimate archaeological excavations, alongside genuine pre-Columbian artifacts. Spanish conquistadors documented seeing similar carved stones in the 1500s. This predates any modern hoax by centuries. Some stones show oxidation and weathering patterns consistent with great age. Others display carving techniques matching known ancient Peruvian methods. So we have a mixture. Definite modern fakes alongside potentially genuine ancient artifacts. The legitimate question is, could some Ica stones be authentic? And if so, what do the flying machine carvings represent? Were ancient Peruvians depicting something they actually saw? Were they recording myths or stories? Or is it all elaborate fraud? The Ica stones remain one of archaeology's most controversial mysteries, a puzzle where truth and deception are so tangled, separating them may be impossible. Mystery 5. The Lycurgus Cup. In the British Museum sits a 1,600-year-old Roman chalice that contains technology. modern science didn't discover until the 1990s. The Lycurgus Cup. Made from dichroic glass, it appears jade green in reflected light. But shine a light through it, and it transforms into brilliant, translucent red. Beautiful, certainly, but the real mystery is how it works. For centuries, nobody understood why the cup changed colors. Then in 1990, researchers examined it with electron microscopes and discovered something extraordinary. The glass contains nanoparticles of gold and silver, particles measuring about 50 nanometers, smaller than a wavelength of visible light. These particles manipulate light at the quantum level, causing the color-changing effect through a phenomenon called surface plasmon resonance. This is nanotechnology, advanced materials science, quantum physics. Roman glassmakers in the 4th century CE somehow created nanoparticles and embedded them in glass at precisely the right size and concentration to produce this effect. Modern scientists couldn't figure out how to do this until the late 20th century. The Romans had no electron microscopes, no understanding of quantum mechanics, no knowledge of nanoscale physics, yet they created a working nanotechnology device 1,600 years ago. How? Was it an accident? A lucky coincidence of materials and temperature that produced the right particle size? Or did Roman craftspeople possess knowledge about matter and light that was somehow lost and only recently rediscovered? The most unsettling possibility, if they could do this deliberately, what else did they know? The Lycurgus Cup sits in its display case, still changing colors, still guarding secrets about knowledge that shouldn't have existed. Mystery the first 6. The Voynich Manuscript. Carbon dated to the early 15th century, the Voynich Manuscript is a handwritten book filled with text in an unknown language, strange diagrams, and bizarre illustrations. 240 pages of vellum covered in flowing script that resembles no known writing system. It contains sections on botany, astronomy, biology, and what appears to be pharmaceutical recipes. The illustrations show plants that don't exist, astronomical diagrams that don't match known systems, and naked figures in strange plumbing-like structures. Professional codebreakers have attacked it. Linguists have analyzed it. Computer algorithms have processed it. All have failed. The writing shows patterns suggesting it's a real language, not random gibberish. It has consistent grammar-like structures, repeated words in appropriate places, and statistical properties matching natural languages. But nobody can read a single word. Some believe it's an elaborate hoax. Others think it's an encoded alchemical text. Some suggest it describes knowledge from a lost civilization. Recent analysis revealed the text was written fluently, not laboriously encoded letter by letter. Whoever wrote it was either fluent in an unknown language or created an incredibly sophisticated cipher. The Voynich manuscript has defeated every attempt at translation for over 600 years. It sits in Yale's Beinecke Library, still unread, still unexplained, containing knowledge that may be profound wisdom or elaborate nonsense. And we have no way to tell which. Mystery number 7, Mohenjo-Daro. In Pakistan's Indus Valley lies the ruins of Mohenjo-Daro, a 4,500-year-old city of the Indus Valley civilization. Sophisticated urban planning, advanced drainage systems, standardized weights and measures, a thriving metropolis of 40,000 people. Then, suddenly, it was abandoned. The mystery deepens when you examine the site. In certain areas, archaeologists found skeletons scattered in streets and buildings, as if people died suddenly where they stood. Some skeletons show evidence of extreme heat, not from fire but something else. At certain locations, stones show signs of vitrification. They've been fused together by intense heat, similar to nuclear blast sites. Background radiation levels in some areas are abnormally high. Ancient Sanskrit texts describe weapons called brahmastra that produced blinding light, extreme heat, and devastating destruction. Descriptions eerily similar to nuclear weapons. Now, mainstream archaeology attributes Mohenjo-Daro's end to flooding, climate change, or invasion. These are reasonable, evidence-based theories, but the anomalies persist. The vitrified stones, the scattered skeletons, the heat damage, the unusual radiation. Could Mohenjo-Daro have been destroyed by some kind of advanced weapon or unknown catastrophic event? Probably not. The evidence better supports natural disaster and gradual abandonment. But the strange details keep the mystery alive. They whisper uncomfortable questions about what we might be missing in the archaeological record. Mystery number 8. The Nazca lines. Carved into the Peruvian desert are over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric shapes, and 70 animal and plant designs. The Nazca lines, created between 500 BCE and 500 CE by removing reddish pebbles to reveal lighter ground beneath. Some lines run perfectly straight for over 30 miles. Geometric shapes display mathematical precision. Animal figures, a monkey, spider, hummingbird, and others, span hundreds of feet. Here's the strange part. They're only fully visible from the air. From ground level, you see rocks and cleared areas. From 1,000 feet up, you see perfect geometric designs and massive animal figures. Why would an ancient culture without flight create images only visible from the sky? The precision is remarkable. Lines maintain straightness over miles of irregular terrain. Proportions remain accurate even at massive scale. How did they plan these designs? How did they execute them without aerial perspective? Some researchers propose they used grids and careful measurement. Others suggest hot air balloons. Some evidence suggests the Nazca culture may have had the technology, but the purpose remains mysterious. Astronomical calendar, religious pathways, messages to gods, irrigation planning? The Nazca lines sprawl across the desert, perfectly preserved by the dry climate, still asking questions we can't definitively answer. Mystery number 9, the Yonaguni Monument. Off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan, at depths of 75 feet, lies a massive underwater structure that has sparked decades of controversy. Discovered in 1987 by a dive instructor, the Yonaguni Monument features terraced platforms, right-angle corners, columns, and what appears to be a stone roadway. The rock formations show features that look deliberately carved: smooth surfaces, sharp edges, geometric shapes, and stair-like steps. Some researchers argue it's a 10,000-year-old sunken city, evidence of an advanced prehistoric civilization lost when sea levels rose after the last ice age. Mainstream geologists counter that it's a natural rock formation shaped by tectonic activity and erosion, with humans possibly modifying it later. The debate rages because evidence supports both sides. The structures align with natural geological fracture patterns. But some features, like the perfectly flat terraces and right-angle corners, are difficult to explain naturally. Tool marks have been reported but not conclusively verified. The roads and staircases could be natural joint patterns, or they could be carved. If natural, it's an extraordinary geological formation. If artificial, it rewrites Japanese prehistory and suggests advanced civilization existed thousands of years before recorded history. The Yonaguni Monument sits beneath the waves, slowly revealing itself to divers, but keeping its ultimate secret, natural wonder or ancient ruin, frustratingly unclear. Mystery. Chapter 10. Ancient Precision Drilled Vases. In Egyptian museums sit thousands of stone vases and vessels dating back over 4,500 years, some possibly much older. They're made from hard stone, diorite, basalt, granite, materials ranking 6 to 7 on the Mohs scale. What makes them extraordinary is the precision. Many have extremely thin walls, some only a few millimeters thick. The interiors are perfectly hollowed, often with internal curves that are impossible to carve with hand tools. Some vases have narrow necks but bulbous interiors, meaning the inside was somehow shaped without access through the opening. Modern engineers have examined these vessels and cannot explain how they were made with the tools supposedly available. The precision suggests machine tooling, high-speed drills, precision lathes, advanced abrasives. Recent experiments using historical techniques have failed to replicate the precision and thin walls. Even with copper tools and sand abrasives, craftspeople cannot achieve the same results. Some vessels show clear drill marks, spiral patterns indicating a rotating cutting tool was used. but ancient Egypt supposedly didn't have rotary drills capable of cutting such hard stone with such precision. These vases were mass-produced. Thousands exist. This wasn't occasional lucky craftsmanship, it was a standardized manufacturing process. What technology did they use? How did they achieve precision we struggle to replicate with modern tools? The ancient stone vases sit in display cases, smooth and perfect, holding secrets about lost manufacturing techniques we still haven't recovered. Mystery. Chapter 11. The Koso Artifact. In 1961, 3 people searching for geodes near Olancha, California, found a rock that, when cut open, revealed something impossible. Inside the stone was what appeared to be a mechanical device, a ceramic cylinder surrounded by copper wire, with a metal shaft running through the center. The object looked remarkably like a modern spark plug. The rock encasing it was estimated to be 500,000 years old based on the fossils attached to it. A spark plug in 500,000-year-old rock. The story spread quickly. Here was proof of advanced ancient technology, or perhaps evidence of time travelers or extraterrestrial visitors. Reality, however, is more mundane, but the mystery persists. Later research suggested the artifact was actually a 1920s champion spark plug that had been encrusted with mineral deposits, making it appear ancient. The stone was likely quick-forming concrete-like sediment, not half-million-year-old rock. But here's the problem. The original artifact disappeared. Nobody can re-examine it. Only photos and X-rays remain. Some details don't fit the spark plug explanation perfectly. The original discoverers insisted the rock was genuinely ancient and extremely hard. So we're left with competing claims and no physical evidence to settle the debate. Most likely explanation? A 1920s spark plug in mineral deposits. But without the actual artifact, absolute certainty is impossible, and the Koso artifact remains a cautionary tale about jumping to conclusions and the importance of preserving evidence. Mystery Chapter 12. The Fuente Magna Bowl. Found near Lake Titicaca in Bolivia, the Fuente Magna is a large stone bowl covered in strange inscriptions. The carvings include symbols that some researchers claim are Sumerian cuneiform, a writing system from ancient Mesopotamia, over 8,000 miles away across the Atlantic Ocean. If authentic, this would suggest contact between ancient Sumerian civilization and pre-Columbian South America, something mainstream history says never happened. Some researchers have translated the symbols, claiming they contain Sumerian text, including references to the goddess Nia and other Mesopotamian religious elements. This would rewrite everything we know about ancient transoceanic contact. However, skepticism is warranted. The bowl's discovery circumstances are unclear. It appeared in a private collection with no verified archaeological context. The writing includes a mixture of symbols, some possibly Sumerian-like, others appearing to be local Bolivian scripts. This mixing suggests either an elaborate hoax or perhaps a colonial-era fake, created when someone with knowledge of both writing systems created a curiosity. No authenticated Sumerian artifacts have ever been found in the Americas through controlled archaeological excavation. The Fuente Magna Bowl raises intriguing possibilities about ancient contact, but without proper provenance and with questionable authenticity, it remains a controversial mystery that generates more questions than answers. Mystery. Myth 13. The Dendera Light. In the Hathor Temple at Dendera, Egypt, wall carvings show something that looks remarkably like modern electrical equipment. The reliefs depict large bulb-shaped objects with wavy lines inside, resembling filaments or electrical discharge. These bulbs are mounted on pillar-like stands, with cable-like braids extending from them. Some researchers see these as depictions of ancient electrical lighting, evidence that Egyptians possessed electrical technology thousands of years ago. The resemblance to modern Crookes tubes, early electrical discharge tubes, is striking. The proportions, the internal wavy lines, the supporting structures, all look remarkably similar to 19th century electrical equipment. Proponents ask, how did Egyptians carve intricate hieroglyphs in dark tomb interiors without soot marks from torches? Could they have had electric lighting? Mainstream Egyptologists offer a different interpretation. The images represent the Djed pillar, symbol of stability, and the lotus flower from which the sun god emerges during creation mythology. The wavy lines? Snakes representing divine creative power. The cables? Standard Egyptian symbolic representations. It's mythology, not technology. But the resemblance remains uncanny. And the question persists. How did ancient craftspeople work in darkness to create intricate art without leaving evidence of lighting? The Dendera light carvings remain a perfect example of how we can see what we want to see, either ancient electrical knowledge or simply religious symbolism, depending on our perspective. Mystery Deswan 14, the Iron Pillar of Delhi. Standing in Delhi, India, is a 7-meter-tall iron pillar dating back at least 1,600 years. The Iron Pillar of Delhi weighs over 6 tons and is made of 98% pure wrought iron. What makes it extraordinary? It hasn't rusted. For over 2,600 years, this iron pillar has stood exposed to monsoons, humidity, and weather, yet shows almost no corrosion. Modern iron structures rust within decades, sometimes years, yet this ancient pillar remains pristine. How is this possible? Scientific analysis revealed the secret. The iron contains high phosphorus content, which has created a protective layer of misoidite, a compound that prevents oxidation. But here's the mystery. Creating iron with this specific phosphorus content and preventing brittleness requires sophisticated metallurgical knowledge. The pillar was forged from smaller pieces welded together using a technique called forge welding, requiring precise temperature control and exceptional skill. Ancient Indian metallurgists somehow understood material science well enough to create corrosion-resistant iron 1,600 years ago. Knowledge that modern science only recently rediscovered. The pillar also features a Sanskrit inscription, and its original purpose may have been as a flagstaff for a Vishnu temple. But the metallurgical sophistication remains remarkable. Ancient craftspeople possessed chemical and engineering knowledge that shouldn't have existed for over a millennium. The Iron Pillar stands in Delhi, rust-free, a silent monument to lost metallurgical mastery. Mystery the Marker 15, the Crystal Skulls. Perhaps the most famous and controversial ancient mystery, crystal skulls. Life-sized human skulls carved from single pieces of clear or milky quartz crystal, supposedly of ancient Mesoamerican origin. The most famous is the Mitchell Hedges skull, claimed to be thousands of years old, carved with impossible precision without modern tools. Early examinations suggested the skull was carved against the natural axis of the crystal, something that should shatter quartz. Some claimed no tool marks were visible, suggesting unknown ancient technology. The mystery deepened with stories of supernatural properties, psychic visions, healing powers, curses. Several crystal skulls appeared in museums and private collections, all supposedly ancient, all mysterious. Then modern science got involved. Detailed analysis using electron microscopes revealed tool marks consistent with modern rotary cutting equipment. The ancient skulls showed evidence of 19th and 20th century manufacturing techniques. Most crystal skulls have been definitively proven to be modern forgeries, likely created in Germany in the 1800s and sold as ancient artifacts. The Mitchell Hedges skull's discovery story has been thoroughly debunked. It was likely purchased at auction, not discovered in a temple. So the crystal skulls aren't ancient. They're fakes, but they remain culturally significant as a reminder of how powerful the desire for mystery can be, and how easily hoaxes can become accepted as fact when they tell us what we want to believe. The crystal skulls teach us skepticism. They remind us to demand evidence and question extraordinary claims. Sometimes the real mystery isn't the artifact, it's understanding why we want so badly to believe. 15 mysteries, some genuine archaeological enigmas, others controversial or debunked, a few that blur the line between fact and fiction. What connects them all? They challenge us to question what we think we know. The White Sands footprints prove our American timeline is wrong. Puma Punku's precision defies explanation, Ancient microlithic tools reveal sophisticated thinking far earlier than expected. Some mysteries, like the Lycurgus Cup and Iron Pillar of Delhi, show ancient knowledge genuinely ahead of its time. Others, like the Ica stones and crystal skulls, remind us that not every mystery has a revolutionary answer. The truth is complex. Our ancestors were far more capable than we often credit. They possessed knowledge that was sometimes lost and rediscovered. They achieved things we struggle to explain. But they were also human. They didn't have electricity, flight, or alien assistance. They had intelligence, creativity, patience, and skill. The real mystery isn't whether ancient people had impossible technology. It's how they accomplished so much with the tools they did have. These 15 mysteries teach us humility. They show us that history is still being written, that discoveries still await, and that our understanding is always incomplete. Somewhere beneath the earth, locked in stone, preserved in ice, or sitting in storage in some forgotten museum basement, the next great mystery waits. The next artifact that will challenge everything we think we know. The next discovery that will rewrite history. Are you ready to find it?